So first of all, I bought the God within you, which is shining every time.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. I bow to the divine in all of us,
Yes,
present in all of us, very much so. Can you move your mic up just a little bit?
yes. Now the voice is clear.
Yes, that's much better.
Yes.
So,
So first of
why
all, I
don't,
thank you a lot
go
for
ahead.
giving beautiful time from a very busy schedule.
Okay.
So first, the viewers are going to watch. So first, introduce about your seek and light within. That what you do to help the people.
Okay.
The power
Um,
of
my website, Seek the Light Within, I do many different things. I teach energy healing. I teach spiritual mentoring to help people become more aware of themselves and their soul and how to make their lives better, to help empower them to live positive, happy lives, healthy lives, to do self-healing. I am trained in many different healing modalities, and I do teach. I am a Reiki master teacher. I also teach quantum healing, um, and a bunch of other different little things. I do past life regressions, life between lives. There is a womb healing, birth, fetal healing thing that I do, practice that I do. Um, just a lot of different things. I do guided meditations every Tuesday night, and my guided meditations are not your typical uh, quiet Zen meditations. You're going to work. You're going to do some sort of release work, some sort of manifestation, maybe work for the planet. Um, but it is work, and you do also get tools to use later on. So you can incorporate them into your regular practice. So it's very important in what I do to empower people to help themselves. Um, and when they have difficulties, then my job is to help step in and assist them with the difficulties and help them move through them. And there truly is nothing that cannot be healed as long as the divine and the body are willing. We are just we are just a conduit. The divine energy flows through us, and humans need a label to attach to what we do. So healer is the best way to describe it, but basically all we are is a vessel for the divine energy to flow through, and if the body and the divine agree, then the healing happens.
yes. We are just the medium between God and the devotee. Yes.
Yes, very much
So
so.
question is the person who are going to enter or who are entering in the path of spirituality and dignity, what are your guides to them who are going to enter or entering in the path of spirituality?
When people first come to me and they're just like, I just know I'm starting to see things and I'm starting to feel things and I don't understand them, um, I'll talk to them and explain to them that they're not going crazy, because those things do exist. And I'll talk to them about using crystals. And also, the biggest thing that people can do to help themselves right now is chakra work. Very intensive chakra work, clearing them out of old belief systems and thoughts and things, societal beliefs, ancestral beliefs, going all the way back through to past lives and all of those things. And doing chakra work is kind of like layer work, taking off layer by layer, but it is very effective and very efficient. And in doing so, you can heal the body, you can increase your own intuitive abilities, you can become happy within, and change your whole life to a very positive and healthy life.
Yes,
So
you are right.
that's where I direct people mostly to go in the beginning, is to start doing chakra work. And there's so much available on YouTube that is really good quality and quality information, and nice meditations that people can use. There are also I did 5.5 years of Blog Talk Radio with a meditation every week on all different topics and subjects. So there's lots of free stuff that's available that is really, really good. It is informative. and it can change your life, but it can only change your life if you do the work.
Yes, you're right. So,
And what is it that you do?
me, I take this course on Bhagavad, which is of 7 days. In
Okay.
India, we call it Bhagavad Katha. It's a very devotional program that changed human life completely into 360 degrees.
So how did you get involved in this practice?
My mother was practicing spirituality since many years. So from childhood, she teach me everything from reading the,
Wonderful.
and then he joined me into the Shivyo, which keeps feelings and connect to the spirituality.
Nice.
Then,
Wonderful.
then we come to the place of Sri Krishna. You read Bhagavad Gita, the,
Mhm.
the birthplace of Sri Krishna, and learn about him and the wisdom of the Krishna.
Ah, wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. It's amazing. There's When you start to awaken to yourself and your soul within, there are bits and pieces of all religions that fit. There's one my belief is there's one creator for us all with many different names,
Yes, of course.
many different names. And there are bits and pieces in all of the religions that fit. They came from somewhere. They came from somewhere. And they all speak of being compassionate and loving and being kind to people. And those are the basis of what the religions were built on and what humans have done to a lot of the religions has really changed that. And so in spirituality, it's about getting back to being one with yourself and the creator. And that's all that's needed. And having a respect and honor for all of the religions because they have helped people stay connected to the divine in one way or another. So it's a very wonderful thing, even though sometimes it gets misrepresented or misused. But the basis of it, the foundation of it, comes from a very wonderful place.
The methods are different, but the path is the same, to the peace and the tranquility, and
Yes,
get united with the universe.
exactly. We're all just energy. We are all just energy. That's all. This is a suit filled with energy, and that energy still exists even after the physical body dies.
God is an energy form, and that's it.
Yes,
It's
yes.
different. So, when someone comes to you, so how do you guide him or her to energize his chakras, the seven chakras?
How do I energize their chakras?
Yes, yes.
Well, when someone comes to me, I will assess each chakra and see if they need a clearing. Uh, and if I feel they need a clearing, then a conversation ensues. What's going on in your life that's associated with this chakra? What's going on in your body that's associated with this chakra? When did it start? Um, Everything starts from an emotional or mental thought, an
Yes, right.
emotion or a mental thought. And all of that starts manifesting in the physical body. So if you can get to those thought processes, you can be much more effective in clearing out the chakra and then bringing the whole body into balance, bringing all the chakras into balance. So there are many different ways that you can do it. There's commands. There's um, one thing that's really important right now is the chakras were programmed to spin clockwise. And they were programmed to spin clockwise along with everything else on the planet spins clockwise. Motors, clocks, gears, all different things spin clockwise. That keeps you connected to the 3D matrix. So when I go in and I start opening a chakra, and it's spinning clockwise, I will take a breath and I will stop it and immediately spin it counterclockwise. In doing so, it's spinning clockwise all of these years, hundreds of thousands of years, the chakra spinning clockwise, and the energy gets like cemented to the outside wall of it. So if you reverse the spin, you now can loosen up all of that old cemented stuff to get it to come out so that you can pull it out, that you can reach in and literally pull it out, that you can, sometimes it looks like tar and requires something, a technique to suck it out. There are many different ways, however it appears, and you use whatever tools are needed. But by spinning it counterclockwise, you now disconnect yourself from the 3D grid and connect yourself to the 5D grid, to the fifth dimensional grid, and a higher energy space. And now you're freeing up even more of that negative energy for it to be cleaned out and released. So there's many different things. Toning, I will tone. I will lots of times tone Om. I will create vortexes, energy vortexes, to help take them out. There are many different techniques that I have available in my toolbox, depending on what the person needs, because not everybody needs the same thing.
You have mentioned in your self-introduction in your website, and have you ever faced paranormal activities? And if you face it, how do you manage to shield it from yourself?
Have I experienced paranormal activity?
Yes,
Yes.
you have mentioned in your
Yes.
self-introduction.
When I was young, I did see what we called ghosts, and I did hear a lot of things, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I wasn't really afraid of it, but I didn't know how to deal with it. So I shut it down, and I always knew that you should never fear God. God only loves you, and that the world would be a place of peace someday, complete peace. And I also knew that there would be no illness. And I come from a family of my great grand aunt, 5 generations we were alive. She was the first osteopathic physician, a woman osteopathic physician in the United States. So I had medicine in my life almost my whole entire life in some form. My stepfather was a pharmacist. I was reading his pharmacology books when I was 8 years old. So the body and healing and all of that caught my attention. And I always knew that I always wanted to be a medium, and I always knew that I could do it. I just didn't know how, or be psychic. And so I started out with meditation, and then I went and studied Reiki. And my very first Reiki class, before I even received my attunement, my abilities started to open up. I started seeing things again and hearing things, and after my attunements, it skyrocketed from there. And I see beings all over the place. So if you see me looking like this and things, don't think anything of it, because my room is full of them. And I also can see the beings that are with you, that are your team. I call them God teams, and it's the team that works with you. And that team can change daily depending on what you're doing in your life. It's like a revolving door. The one group will come in and they'll help you with this, and then they'll go out and another group will come in and they'll help you with this. If you're writing a book, they'll send an author with you. They'll send a publicist, guide team. If you're doing healing work, they'll send doctors and physicians to, and surgeons to work with you. So when you open up yourself to, when you're working on someone, to all beings of love and light that can assist, then you never limit your client. They're never limited. If you only list certain beings, let's say Ganesh, and call in Lakshmi, and we call in Archangel Michael, and we call in Mother Mary and Jesus, they're the only ones that could help. So when you say all beings of love and light that can assist, then you open up the whole entire universe to assist them. So these are the things that I teach, not to be limitless. We are limitless beings. We
So
are
how can
limitless.
we connect with our spiritual guides? Any suggestions so we can connect ourselves to our spiritual guides so we get more help into developing spirituality?
Well, one, you first have to believe that they're there. First and foremost, you may not see them, you may not hear them, you may not feel them at first, but trust that they are there because they are there regardless. They have been there your whole life. You're never alone. We are born and given two guardian angels. One is very quiet and one is loud. One quietly whispers in your ear and the other one pushes you. And then you have a master soul guide. Also, the master soul guide would be a gatekeeper. And this is a guide that you have worked with many times, and they may have incarnated and you would be their master guide, and vice versa. So start asking them questions. When you ask questions, the very first thing you get is the guidance. Anything that comes after that is the thoughts intruding. Also, begin by asking just yes or no questions. That's the easiest way. And then learn some muscle testing. So you ask your question, you get your answer, and then you can use kinesiology muscle testing because the body will never lie to you. So you can validate that that was it, that the answer was yes or the answer is no. So then you learn what the sound of your guidance sounds like, what it feels like. Also pay attention to what your body feels. Once you learn that and you keep practicing that, then you'll know when guidance is coming through, and it will become much clearer and clearer and clearer. If you want to work on hearing them more clearly, hearing the guidance more clearly, we have ear chakras that are just above the physical ear and level to the temple, and they are the size of a quarter. They are violet red. Clear them out. Clear out your third eye. Clear out your crown. It's about chakras. Clear out your throat, because your throat is not only about speaking clearly and not holding things back in the truth of who you are, but it also is about hearing things. If you hear things that you don't want to hear, you'll close that throat up. If you've seen things in the past that have frightened you, you'll close your third eye up. And it could be residual through past life. So there's many different things that you can do in the beginning that are very easy, but you have to do them, and you have to be diligent. You have to do it all the time. All the time. You have to make it part of your daily practice. And the more you do it, the clearer it gets. The more your intuitive, just a moment, the more your intuitive abilities open up, and the more you can trust what's coming in.
Okay. So when someone moves in the path of spirituality, he faces many energy vampires and spiritual attackers. So how can he recognize them and avoid them for getting harmed?
So, energy vampires. Some people do it purposefully, but most people don't. It's not purposefully, it just happens. Like, you know, you have a friend that always calls and you're feeling great, and then they call, and by the time you're done talking to them, you feel terrible and they feel wonderful because they've drained your energy is basically what it is. So you need to learn some different forms of protection, and it needs to be practiced every day. When you get up in the morning, before meditation, after meditation, and before bed. If you're going to go out into the public, into the market or Walmart or wherever you're going to go, you need to put that protection in place. It's okay to be empathic. We need to be empathic to some degree so that we can assess the energy and what is going on around us. But you do not need to take on someone else's energy or to let them drain yours. So you can ask Archangel Michael to give you a ball of light, either white light, platinum, violet, to step into. And a lot of people make the mistake of asking to be surrounded with light, and then they forget to cover their head and their feet. So they leave an opening. So if you step into a bubble, you're completely surrounded. That's a basic form of protection that anybody can do in any moment. Then, of course, you can go much, much deeper. You could, protection that I use is a golden octahedron of light. A golden octahedron of light solidifies my alignment to the divine. It has diamond faceted permeable outside walls, so it's reflective. So and I state, only energy of love and light that's for my best and highest good can come through, and anything that isn't be reflected back to the God force for transmutation. I also ask for protection throughout all planes of existence, because we are operating on multiple planes of existence at the same time. So even though I'm sitting here talking to you, my consciousness is up here somewhere, way out there, actually, and my physical body is sitting here. So in this moment, I'm being multidimensional and connecting into many different things. So I need protection here in the physical, as well as my spirit soul out here working needs protection at the same time. And that's of huge importance. But there's a lot that you can do that's very easy. Stepping into the bubble is the easiest thing you could do, and the fastest and quickest way. But it is very, very, very important. I can't stress that enough, to make sure that you do it in the morning, before meditation, after meditation, and before you go to sleep. And someone say, why before you go to sleep? When we sleep, our soul is off. Excuse me. Our soul is off doing many different things, working, learning, all different kinds of things. So the body is laying still, but the soul can bring back other energy beings with it. So it's very important to ask for that protection when you're doing anything that you're leaving your body, even though you're not consciously leaving your body. Your soul is an aspect of your soul, and an energy of your soul is still leaving.
Yeah, you have just said about when we sleep, the energy works. So I just remember one movie, Insidious. Have you watched it?
No, I have not. I'm
Yeah.
not a big movie watcher. I never really have been.
Yes, I am interested in to watch the horror sci-fi movie. So,
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, they said some people have that power that when they sleep, their spiritual body wake up and walk around the
Mm-hmm.
world of cosmic level.
You can astral project, yes. I do astral project. I go all over the place. And when you sleep, you dream. What's happening in your dreams is really happening in either a parallel reality or another plane of existence. So don't hate your dreams, even how crazy they may seem. Sometimes they are more symbolic and metaphoric, as opposed to, the message that's right there in front of your face. So, but your dreams are very, very important, and you are actually participating in them. So when loved ones come, lots of times when people pass, their family members will dream about them, and they are there. They are truly there. So enjoy that. And it's easier for them to come to you in your dreams because you are more relaxed. You won't be scared, or you won't get excited and change your energy. And the mind, the ego, the lower ego mind is not in play. When you're sleeping, you're in your true consciousness. You are in your true awareness and reality, and all of those things do not frighten you.
So my question is, we have pendulum that answer our
Mm-hmm.
question.
Yeah.
So when we ask our energy, it sometimes go high, sometimes go good to bad. But
Mm-hmm.
why happen that He said that our energy is connected to someone. Like I have bad energy, so my friend have bad energy too. He had good energy, but he has connected with me. So why that happen?
Every single person that you've ever met in your whole entire life, you have an energetic cord attached to, an etheric energetic cord. So depending on how deep the connection is with the person, energy is flowing to them and from them, from you to them and from them to you through that cord, even when you're not in the same room. So it's just an energy transfer. And yes, you can stop that from happening because you can, there's processes that you can do to cut etheric cords so that you stop feeding your energy to other people and stop receiving them. Cords of unconditional love can never be severed. But all of the other garbage cords can be cut. And then you remove the plugs, and then you're not feeding each other that energy back and forth. Energy gets exchanged. So if you're in a room and there's 10 people in the room and they all have good energy, their breath is going to be exchanged, is it not? You're going to be breathing in the room. You're going to be breathing in their air. They're going to be breathing in your air. Did you know that there are parts of an oxygen atom called an argon? And for every 16 breaths that you breathe, you are breathing in the air or a particle of the air that Jesus Christ breathed in. For every 16 breaths, you're breathing in the air of Krishna, the same air and oxygen that Krishna breathed. The oxygen that is on this planet is the same oxygen that has been on this planet forever. The same water that is on this planet has been here forever. There's been no more added, no more taken away. It just keeps getting recycled. So think about that.
Just
How
like
divine is that you're breathing the air of these beautiful, wonderful ascended master beings that are assisting us, that have lived here on the planet. Every 16th breath.
You have really given great wisdom today.
Pardon?
You have really given great wisdom today about this. We haven't think about this yet.
We don't think about that. We don't think about that connection, that how we all are connected. The trees are all connected on the whole entire planet. These are all things that are scientifically proven, but nobody looks at it. The vibration of the earth, they call it the Schumann resonance. Back in the 1950s, and 1960, it resonated at something like 7.83 megahertz. Through this ascension process that we're going through, it now spikes to 150. It now spikes to 120. It's now holding at a higher rate. They don't know why, but it's a frequency. That's the fifth dimensional frequency. The dimensions are not a different place. They're just a higher level of frequency. So an example would be that you've got third dimension here and you've got fourth dimension here, and then there's 12 layers in between. Each layer has a different vibrational frequency. That's all it is. It's not a different place or a different space. It's all about raising your frequency so you hold more light. Our cells, science proven, our cells hold photonic light. There are energies coming onto the planet that are allowing in and bringing in more photonic light into our cells, which makes us vibrate at a higher frequency, which is taking our bodies through this ascension process to bring our bodies into more of a light body. There are scientists that measure the photonic light out in space. That has recently spiked, and they don't know why. I wonder why. Because there's all these wonderful beings and the divine that's trying to help us take us to the next best place, to help us completely heal, to help us live a life of peace, to help us all get along, to help everybody realize that they're connected. This pandemic has done that.
Okay, great.
The pandemic has done a lot of things. Yes, there's been a lot of loss, a lot of death. There's also been a lot of illness with it, but there's also been lockdowns. The whole world got quiet. They stood still. They had to stay still. And in that stillness, they started hearing their guidance. They started hearing the little voice. More and more people are opening up to their own awareness that there's something more. Everyone on the planet is awake, but the switch hasn't been lit, hasn't been turned on yet. So the pandemic has done a lot of things. It's brought a lot of stuff to the surface that needs to be cleared. So it has some good qualities, some not so good qualities. And as you can see, I don't say good or bad, because that's duality. And I'm working towards a life of non-duality where there's just polarity. There's just different levels of different things. So learning and opening up to all of that is so much more. Crystals are wonderful to help with. Crystals are wonderful to help with clearing your chakras. You can work and do your meditation and lay down and put the crystals associated with each chakra on there with colors. Pendulums are wonderful to work with. Pendulums will give you answers. They can tell you if your chakra's out of balance. If you put your pendulum over your chakra, if it's spinning, your chakra is clear, balanced. If it starts going haywire, something's wrong. Get in there and gotta clear it out. So there are many different physical tools that we have besides energetic tools to assist us in this process.
Okay.
What do you use for practice?
So according to you, what is the state of an enlightened person? What he feels when he gets enlightened? How does he feel according to you?
I want to say that I work on enlightenment every day. And I don't feel that I or anyone else, but I could be very wrong, will ever completely reach complete enlightenment in a physical body. Yes, they say it has happened, and I do believe it can. And I do believe that that's where we're headed and what the end result is of the intention of this whole shifting process. It's going to take a long time. Not as long as it took for us to get to this state. Thank goodness, thank God for that. Because that took hundreds and thousands of years. And this process is not taking quite as long. It's going to take maybe 100 years. And it started back in 1950. So we're 2/3 of the way through it. The more you clear yourself of negative thought beliefs, whether you think they're yours or not, even if you just hear them out in the public, they're in your subconscious. You are part of the collective. They are within you at some level. So the more you keep clearing, the more you keep working, you have positive thoughts, you're having a great day, and something happens and now you're not having a great day. It happens. You look at it. You try to find the lesson in it. You thank it because now it is brought up into your awareness, something that needs to be cleared from you. And you work on it and you let it go and you move on to the next thing. Don't get stuck in that holding pattern. Just keep moving. The worst thing that people do to themselves is negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is more harmful to the physical body than if 10 people beat you up. So if you want to change that, then start saying more positive things. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I can't believe that I did that. That was so stupid of me. Cancel, cancel, cancel. No, I'm not stupid. I'm a smart, intelligent person. It was just something that came out of my mouth. Whatever that needs to look like for you, and you don't have to say it out loud, but just cancel it and move on to a better thought. And yes, we do get stuck in a cycle, especially if it keeps repeating of those negative thoughts. Don't beat yourself up for getting sucked back into it again either. Say, okay, this has to stop. It stops now. And I'm just going to move on. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. It's a process. It's a wonderful process. Is it hard? Yeah. Some days it's really, really hard. But the more you do it, the more really, really, really good days you have, and the less hard stuff comes in. It's really, I want to say, very easy and simple to change your life, but it takes work. But the tools that we have make it very easy and simple. And sometimes that people think that negates it because it should be hard. It should be hard. That's like when you do healing work for somebody, and you do it because you want to, and you're giving it freely. A lot of people won't believe that it works because they'll say it's free, it's cheap, it's not going to last. But if they pay $1,000 for it, oh my God, that's the best thing I ever did. And that is so sad. It is really, really sad, because the work is doing the same thing no matter what is given. You can barter. You can do reciprocation. You can, you know, I did all of that work on Blog Talk Radio for free for 5.5 years. And I still do things for free. I do charge because I have bills to pay. This is my life. I have bills to pay. I have to eat and all of those things too. So trying to find the balance between that is also of a huge importance too, so that you find a balance of giving and receiving, giving back. I do a lot of volunteer work. This conversation to put the information out there as much as possible. So there's many different things that you can do to bring about that awareness in people. And sometimes all it takes is a conversation for them to listen to, turn the light on, to give them that aha moment. Say, what did they say? Oh, they're talking about Palladians? What are Palladians? I don't know. Oh, I'm going to Google. Let me Google Palladians, because there's lots and lots of wonderful information on the internet that is very accurate. So if it just creates that switch coming on, just one person, then my job is done for today. All it takes is one person.
You have really thank you to sharing your wonderful experience about this enlightenment. So, people hear about past life regression and they feel crazy. So, according to you, how past life regression works and how can you explain it? into the basic level if we want to experience.
Well, there's a lot of past life bleed through happening right now. A lot of people are having what they call deja vu, like I've been here before, I've seen this before. So this is a lot of past life bleed through because there is no time. There is really no linear time. And the astronauts and science have proved this because once you leave the atmosphere of Earth, the only way that they can keep time is by the computers because they're not revolving around the sun like the Earth goes around the sun. So there is really no time, just here. So if we are just here, somewhere in our reality, our consciousness is experiencing that past life right now. So through hypnosis and instruction, it's really pretty simple to get somebody to go into a past life. But it's very hard for the person to believe it because they'll think, oh, I'm imagining it, I'm making it up. Truly, you're not making it up. You are actually seeing all these things. You will experience in past lives a family member that, let's say, a daughter. Let's say I had a daughter. I don't have a daughter in this life, but let's say I had a daughter in this life. In a past life, I will see her as my sister. She may not look like my daughter now, but I'll recognize her energy and who she is. Going through past life experiences can help to heal lots of things in this physical existence, in this physical incarnation now. There are instances where there are people on the planet who this is their first time on Earth or second time only. Those people will have past life memories, but there will be no energy attached to them because they will be imprinted on them so that they will understand what Earth is like when they come in. So there's no energy attached to that memory. It's just data, like in a computer. It's just data. So there's a lot of people walking around on the planet now that this is their first time here or only their second. And they may be 70 years old and this is their first time. They may be 2 years old. They may be 15. You don't know until you communicate with the soul and find out, is this your first time or not? How long have you been here? And all souls are old. Eons old. They may be new to the earth or old to the earth, but they're all very old. But new souls are constantly being created. And the thing is that right now on this planet, everybody that's here on this planet, there are billions of souls waiting and have been waiting to come to this planet to help us right now, to come into physical form. The souls that are on this planet answered the call that went out. The souls that are on this planet were chosen out of billions of souls. Everyone on the planet has a job, has a mission, has a part to play in helping this shifting process. And you are the best one at your job. That's why you're here. Not because they needed just to fill the planet. There are still billions of souls waiting. You are the best one for your job. Own that. Own that. Let that humble you. Let that be your guide. Let that be your heart and your compassion to continue to do what you're doing. And know that there will be many other souls that will come after that will be the best at their job. And even if we're doing similar jobs, we're doing it all in different ways. And we're doing similar jobs just here in the physical, but our souls and our energy is doing all kinds of other stuff at the same time in other places. So know that you were chosen out of 30 billion souls, or 30 million souls for your one particular job, what you do. And let that humble you. Don't let that say, that's my job. I got it. I do this. No. I came here to do something very specific. And every day once you step into the role of what you're here to do, they will give you many new jobs. Okay, you can do this now, and now you can do this, and you can do this. And I have to say, oh, wait a minute, that's way too much. I already have all this other stuff you're wanting me to do. So, and I've agreed to do. So, okay, if I'm going to do this, let's give this to somebody else now. Let me help somebody else learn how to do this, and now that can be their job. And then I can learn something new or go on to the next thing. It's always upward and onward. Always upward and onward. So you never will stop learning. You never will stop ascending. You never will stop raising. No, I can't say that. I was going to say you'll never stop raising your vibration, but that's not true, because some people are going to choose to stay in a 3D physical world instead of moving with the rest of us to the 5D new earth. And that's their choice. And you have to honor and respect that. You have to honor and respect everybody's journey. You may not like it, but it's their journey. It's their choice. It's in their contract, not yours. And sometimes that's not easy. Especially when it's family or friends, you want to shake them, but you can't. You say, okay, I'm here to support you in whatever choice you make.
Forgiveness is the main key.
Excuse me?
Forgiveness is the main key.
Yes.
In life.
Forgiveness is key, because in forgiveness, you truly are living in a state of grace and compassion. And not only forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. Forgiving the self. And you don't have to forgive people to their face. Just forgive them from your heart. Let that off of your heart. And there's a lot of other things that go with that. And it's very hard for some people to forgive. They hold grudges. They hold anger. Some people like being the victim. The way I explain to people, the easiest way to forgive is, if you believe in that we made contracts to come here. We had agreements. I'm coming here, I'm going to do this. I want you to help me do this. I want you to help me do this, and it helping to balance out karma, also karmic debt. So you have all these agreements, and they're written out in contracts. So if somebody hurts you on a soul level, you ask them. Some people aren't going to like this or believe it. On some level, you wanted to learn this lesson so you could evolve quickly as a soul. So you asked somebody that you loved and trusted to help you learn this lesson. And in return, you're also helping them learn a lesson also. And balance out their own karmic debt too. On a soul level, you're doing this out of nothing but love. Nothing but love. So if you look at it that you made an agreement and you signed a legal and binding contract, then okay. You could look at somebody and from your heart say thank you. Thank you for honoring your part of the contract, and thank you for allowing me to honor mine. When you can come from that place, forgiveness becomes very easy. Very easy. It becomes so freeing and lifting. And as I said, you don't have to say it out loud to somebody. You just have to say it from your heart and truly mean it. And when you can look at it, okay, I agreed to this, I signed a contract, and we fulfilled it, and I learned these lessons, and now, okay, let's move on. most people that have suffered trauma of any kind, it has made them stronger to some degree. It does break them maybe at some point for a little while, but then they pick themselves back up and they're even stronger. So there are good things that come out of it and things that are not so good. I told them next time I want a microscope to read the fine print, because evidently I didn't read the fine print on my well enough when I signed. So next time I want a microscope. I make that joke with my guides all the time. When it gets hard, and I'll say, I don't think I signed up for this. That's another thing I want to also make sure that I state to you. Whenever your guides give you something to do, or you're on your mission and it gets hard and you think, oh my gosh, that's a lot, I can't do that, that's a big job. Remember, you contracted for it. You wouldn't have been allowed to contract for it if you couldn't do it, and you wouldn't have agreed to do it if you couldn't do it. So you can do it. You just have to figure out the way and let the divine help you with that. Because when you surrender to the divine, the way gets made. When you say, okay, I don't know how to do this, but you want me to do this, I want to do this, help me do this, the way gets made. Trust, and have that faith. That's everything. That's everything.
Yes, the faith is the root of everything, whether the worldly world or spiritual world.
Mm-hmm.
First day of
Well,
Bhagavad Gita.
not just having faith, but you need to trust too that in what you're asking for will be heard and given. Someone once said to me, and I like this example. You go into a restaurant and you get a menu and you place your order with the waitress. They take your order. Then all of a sudden they bring your plate back. The whole time they're in there cooking, you're not saying, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Is it coming this way? Is it going to look like that? Are you cooking it this way? Are you doing this? You just put your order and you trust that you ordered it. Is that not correct? Same thing. When you put your order in and you put your prayers in and you ask for assistance, trust that it will come, and don't think that it needs to come in one certain way. Open up to the possibilities, because it can come in many different ways. And if you think it's only going to come in one way that you want it to come, you're going to miss all these other wonderful ways that it could come in that's even better than the way that you're imagining. So needing to trust in that faith. Trust in that faith. Trust in yourself. Trust in the power that you have within yourself to change situations, to change your life, to change the way things look if you're not comfortable with them. If you are, yay! Keep moving and be grateful. Gratitude is huge. Gratitude is one of your biggest gifts in your toolbox. Be grateful every day for something wonderful. Be grateful every day.
Living up the question, have you ever come India before? Have you ever come India?
Have I ever been to India before? Is that what you said? No, I have not. I am being guided that I will be coming to India next year. I do have extended family in India. My son's girlfriend is from India, and so she still has family back there. So I will be going there, of course, but I will be going wherever the divine leads me to go, wherever my help is needed, or I need to stand up and speak in front of people, or if I'm called to put my hands on people, whatever that looks like, to bless the land, to clear the land, to clear energy spaces, whatever Whatever the divine guides me to do, I will do. I will
So
do.
where your son's girlfriend live in this place?
I can never remember the name. She does speak Gujarati. I think
Okay.
it's how it's pronounced.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I can never remember where. I don't know why that is, but they have a nice family farm there, and um, she's got lots of family there still. So they're actually planning to go sometime next year also. I don't know if we'll go at the same time or not, um, but yes, India is on the list, as is Peru. Um, Somewhere in Asia, um, Egypt. I am going to live in Egypt actually, and I just went to Egypt last year. Um, Mount Shasta here in the United States. They're England, somewhere in the UK. They're sending me. So there's many different, and I just recently went to um, the Cathedral of Mary Magdalene in La Saint Baume, the grotto. I just recently went there in February and had profound energy experiences working with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and the energies there. So um, I'm just learning to be open to where the divine leads me to go next and what I'm guided to do.
Egypt was on my bucket list too. I also plan to go Egypt in some years.
Egypt is wonderful. I went last year, November. Um, I will be going to live there part time. Uh, I'll live there like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months and then come back here to the United States for 2 or 3 months and teach here and go back. But I will still be doing all of my classes and things via Zoom, um, or Skype or different things like that, because I do a lot of, the divine has been really wonderful at helping me to switch all of my hands-on stuff to be able to be done in this platform so that I
Have you
still can continue to do my work wherever I go.
have you ever feel any energy in the pyramids or in the ancient temples of Cairo? Because
I did not go to Cairo. I was not called to go to Cairo. I went to Luxor and I went into the Temple of Isis, which is in Luxor. It's a very small one. Um, I went uh, I went to the Temple of Habu and I also went to Karnak. Sorry, Isis is just coming in. Um, So I had lots of experiences while I was in Egypt, while I was on the Nile. Lots of past life memories came up. Sorry, so we were talking about it. So now the energy that I experienced there is what's coming in. I'm tapped back into the energy of it again. Um, Lots of many wonderful, wonderful, amazing things happened in a very short time when I was in Egypt. And I knew immediately that I had to go back. And the people that I met and talked to, this is the crazy thing, they looked at me and they said, "Are you happy to be home?" And I kind of looked at them like, "What?" And they said, "Are you happy to be home? This is your home, you know." Because I met a lot of spiritual people while I was there. So yeah, it's just amazing. And I'm very sensitive to energy, so I can feel energy anywhere, just as I just did. I just tapped back into that energy, and that's what all this was about. So the more you clear yourself out, the more sensitive you become to everything.
spirituality is everywhere. We have to just feel them.
It
So
is. The spirit is everywhere, and your energy is everywhere, and they communicate best with you through feeling. So that is the best way to know what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with, as opposed to, because Anybody could appear as Archangel Michael. Any energy being can make themselves look like Archangel Michael, but they can't feel like Archangel Michael, because all souls have a soul signature and energy signature, just like your thumbprint, fingerprints. No other being has that. So that's how you learn how to tell your guides and that you're working with, is by how they feel. And always, always, always asking, whenever you feel the presence of one, prove to me you're of love and light. If they are not of love and light, they cannot prove it to you. And the feeling that you'll get when they do prove it is you'll feel warm, hugged, loved, nurtured, happy, joyous, something of that effect. If they are not of love and light, they can't do that, and most of them will leave. They can't give you that feeling. So it is very important that anytime you are communicating with anything, whether you see it, feel it, or hear it, that you ask it to prove that until you become familiar. Because if not, you could bring home something that's not so nice.
Oh, and any
Go
final
ahead.
message to the youth and the generation? Any message to the youth and generation?
Everybody is starting to see things out the corner of their eyes, having memories, starting to feel energy. More and more people are realizing they're empathic. You're not crazy. There are tools out there to help you deal with it. There's a lot of good information on the internet. There's a lot of good teachers out there. Ask the divine to bring you who you need and what you need. They'll arrive. It could be a book on the internet. It could be a YouTube video. You could go on there searching. You know how you go on YouTube and you put in guided meditation for calmness. Then over here there'll be other meditations that say, "Oh, you might like this." Your meditation is going to be over there. So the divine will bring it. Just pay attention to what everything is around you and be open to all the possibilities. Don't get tunnel vision. Energy is energy. It moves, it changes. It can never be destroyed. And what we're going through, the whole planet's going through on some level. Everybody on the planet is going through this on some level. So you can find your tribe, the people who will understand you, understand what you're going through. They're out there. There's tons and tons of groups available now, tons of information being shared. So you just have to decide that you know there's something different and you want something different. And then everything will start showing up. And there are no coincidences. No coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Just as this reason why I was invited to have this discussion.
You are absolutely right. Nothing happens without any reason. So
Yes.
it's really very nice to talk such a divine lady like you. It's my pleasure and the gift of God.
It's been my pleasure to be able to have this discussion, and I look forward to having more.
And I too invite you to the energy vortex of Vrindavan, the birthplace of Sri Krishna, like Jerusalem of Jesus Christ. So someday when the divine permits, you come here and enjoy the energy frequency of here.
Mm-hmm. There will be lots that happen when I go to India, I believe. Lots that I will learn and lots that I will experience.
Even Jesus Christ has meditated 12 years in India.
Yes.
Yes, I read about him.
Yep.
12 years he meditated.
Yep. He traveled all over India, Asia, Africa, Egypt, all over. He went everywhere and learned. He went and learned from all of the teachers, many different things. He also taught. He learned and he taught. It's a wonderful exchange. And he's not the only one. You know, there's so many um, ascended master beings that have lived wonderful lives on this planet. All the ascended masters have lived a human life, have lived in human form at least once. And there's only two archangels that have ever lived in a human life, and only one life, which is Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron. All the other angels have never had a human life. So that is why they have very big roles in helping humanity, because they understand what it's like to be a human. Being a human can be really hard. Can be really difficult on some days. So, but I thank you. Namaste. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you.
I will also recommend your seek the light within with my friends and family, and pray. I pray to the God that someday, if divine permit, we can have a great time together, experiencing the energy like
Yes.
past life vibration, etc.
Yes.
I thank you
Absolutely.
from the bottom of my heart for your divine wisdom and talk.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for choosing to come here on the planet at this time.
Yes,
So thank you. I
really feel
thank
that
you.
I feel the divine. I thank you, and we will meet soon.
Wonderful.
Namaste.
Namaste. Okay.